The 5th Interagency IFP Forum, final project review of the Working Committee for Forward Transition, was held at the Philippine International Convention Center last April 27, 2022.
5 years ago, the first thing I made sure was to increase our infrastructure spending to an average of 5% of the country's GDP, thanks to the comprehensive tax reform program that enabled us to fund critical infrastructure projects. Today, we can see the tangible results all around.
Through this, we can rectify and improve, leverage on technological advancements to ensure that these projects stand the test of time to benefit more Filipinos for generations to come.
Under the government of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, by increasing the productive capacity of the economy, accelerate more infrastructures to close the huge infrastructure gap, and of course, to generate more jobs opportunities and strengthen the investment climate that leads towards a sustainable and inclusive growth.
The resumption of activities under the Build, Build, Build program and the continuous investment in necessary infra have bolstered the economy, considering infra's multiplier effects on creating jobs and stimulating growth.
What bridges the past that we built and the future that we want? It is the present work we do. It is only when we work as genuine servants that we can continue moving forward and conquering together.
Sa pagtatapos ng ating termino, makikita at maidudugtong natin yung ginawa natin nang sa ganon, yung pagpasok ng bagong administrasyon ay magkaroon ika nga ng very good starting point.
After May 9th, there has to be a forward transition for everybody.
This forum has already become an important exercise in generating coherence in the implementation of the government's Infrastructure Flagship Projects. The Department of Finance remains committed to continuing our work and looks forward to sustaining the achievements in accelerating infrastructure development and working on our economic recovery.
I am proud to report that TRB has completely evaluated game-changing infrastructure flagship projects. The network of toll roads is strategically designed to provide a fast, convenient, safe, and reliable transport and travel while simultaneously contributing to the overall success of nation building, specifically in stimulating the rapid economic growth as we recover from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Life becoming more comfortable because a more expansive and efficient railways network enables Filipinos to spend less time commuting and spend more time with their families, more time to be more productive, and more time for their individual welfare. All of these are no longer just promises because our program is called Build, 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 not plan, 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 not drawing, 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 and definitely not talk, talk, talk.
If we include our attached agencies, Manila International Airport, Mactan, and Clark, completed projects are 240 airport projects with 70 more ongoing. All these projects are supported by master plans and feasibility studies. 23 airports have master plans and FS as guidance.
The Department of Transportation remains steadfast in pursuit of this ambition, working tirelessly to bring to the Filipino people safe, efficient, inclusive, and reliable transportation that they desire and deserve.
Sabi po ng ating mahal na Pangulo, make the Filipino life comfortable and convenient. Kung wala ho yung pagbabago sa tinatawag na connectivity, mobility, and convenience, wala hong patutunguhan yung tinatawag na economic development, yung tinatawag na economic prosperity.
The infrastructure creates new income opportunities for the poor, thereby helping to reduce poverty and inequality. The mass public transport systems help mitigate climate change by lowering CO2 emissions.
Hand in hand with the PPA and CPA, our department was able to construct 111 new ports, expanded 354 ports, and rehabilitated 114 existing ones for the benefit of various businesses, big or small, our fisher folks, as well as those in island communities who are displaced due to harsh seas and weather conditions.
The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected mobility, and through this project, we aim to promote shifting to non-motorized transportation by providing high-quality walkways for the public, which also contributes to the reduction of carbon emissions.
In April of 2020, we are proud to say that MWSS has completed one of the 4 IFPs, a 4-diameter 6.4-kilometer raw water conveyance tunnel now conveys 1,700 million liters of raw water per day. And we are proud to say that even at the height of the pandemic, the tunnel was completed 5 months ahead of schedule.
PGH Diliman is envisioned to be a new 700-bed public hospital to be located within the campus of UP Diliman in Quezon City. It will be a teaching hospital providing multi-specialty services. The goal for PGH Diliman is to be a world-class hospital accessible to the poor with related educational and research facilities.
Marami na ang pinagdaanan ng proyekto na lubos na makakatulong sa ating bansa at sa ating mga kababayan sa pag-iwas at paglaban sa mga sakit na dulot ng mga virus na ito, hindi lamang sa tao, ngunit naging sa hayop at halaman. Kaya naman lubos kaming nagpapasalamat sa ating mahal na Pangulo dahil sa pagkakaroon natin ng VIP at ng world-class facilities nito ay maisasama tayo sa mapa ng mga virology laboratories sa buong daigdig.
We think it is reasonable and rational that the new administration will continue to focus and expand on the infrastructure development policy in the medium to long term for your country's future prosperity through job creation and improvement of business environment, which in turn can attract more investments.
So the implementation of the IFPS during the pandemic has really highlighted the gaps in our health system. It also stressed the importance of close collaboration of the department, national and regional offices with the local government units and target health facilities to have a rational support and effective emergency response.
The objectives of the project are to extend economic life and operation for another 30 years or more through restoration of rated plant capacities, ensure the operational safety and reliability of the hydroelectric power plants, improve plant productivity by increasing plant efficiency and capacities of the existing generating units through system refurbishing or upgrading.
The demand for a fast, reliable, affordable, and available internet is needed more than ever, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic, where the need for ICT is more than ever. The National Broadband Program is the national government strategy for providing faster, efficient, and equitable broadband connectivity to the country. especially for geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas.
We are pleased to report that as of April 1, 2022, 62.1 million Filipinos have successfully completed Step 2 registration, of which 7.7 million registrants were onboarded for opening of land bank transaction accounts. We would also like to report that as of April 1, 9.1 million PhilID cards have been already successfully delivered.
Our President wanted us to build. So we in LUWA, we dig for water infrastructures. With this in mind, LUWA is carrying out its flagship projects for 12 water districts spread across Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, all aimed at improving water supply and quality along with a network of sanitation infrastructure.
We commend all agencies present here today for their concerted efforts to complete and deliver the infrastructure flagship projects we are all enjoying now and continue implementing the other IFPs, the completion of which will not only decongest traffic in Metro Manila and major cities, but will no doubt support key sectors by stimulating production activities and generating employment and enhancing countryside development.
The Chico River Pump Irrigation Project, with a project cost of 4.497 billion as of March 2022, the project has an overall physical accomplishment of 83.88%. The project will irrigate 8,700 hectares of agricultural land and 21 barangays in Tuao and Piat in Cagayan and in Pinukpok, Kalinga in Cordillera Administrative Region, benefiting 4,350 farmers and their families.
Between 2016 up to now, our commitment to Philippine government has more than doubled from $500 million to over $1 billion. This funded initiatives such as airport development, road, bridge, dams, and risk mitigating facilities construction, as well as budget support for emergency response, that today benefit millions of Filipinos. As such, we shall carry on our commitment to supporting the Philippines' development goals, even as a new government takes over this year.
We may now be at the end of the current administration, but we, the UPMO clusters, with our ship captain, Undersecretary Emil Sadain, assure each and every Filipino of our unwavering dedication to deliver quality and safe structures. Together, we commit to deliver all the infrastructure projects about to be shown towards our goal of national development for the Filipinos and the generation to come.
Please give us a piece of your perspective when it comes to building these lineup of game-changing infrastructure flagship projects. What goes through your mind when you do that, sir?
We know in the coming administrations, because of the huge infrastructure backlog that we have for the country, it will not suffice these administrations to come up with a jump pack of projects. I would presume that even whoever wins in the next election, this will still be the top priority in terms of spurring economic development.
Really want to have this implementation to help our marginalized members of the society. So we really look forward, or rather, we really support whatever the President's declaration or pronouncement as to the programs and projects that it seems to be important for this administration.
Usually, looking at those set of projects that can be given to our principals that can be implemented most likely within the next 6 years.
Hopefully, we can still have the same momentum, the same persons, the same officials that will be working on this program. So that's how we look at it as one very important infrastructure program for the government to progress along the way towards a better governance and a better nation.
What are your plans and strategies to help the country succeed in its desire for continuing and sustainable infrastructure development, especially in the implementation of both ongoing and pipeline IFPs.
Should be an optimal mix of financing that's public financing that's supported by ODA, but also, of course, PPPs and private sector financing. That's a mix that's important to retain high levels of public spending on infrastructure.
What we have to do is to encourage private sector to be involved in this lovely country's promising market. And for that purpose, what we have to do is, I believe, to create a better environment for the business.
More importantly is going forward, over the next 10 years or so, the Philippines still need to prioritize infrastructure investment for the same reasons, supporting economic growth, and creating jobs, and also in terms of coping with the risks and vulnerabilities of climate change.
In sustainability is very important. I'm sure the next government will take all kind of this build position, because infrastructure development is very important. But also this kind of technical budget allocation is very necessary. So in order for all the large scale project to be successfully implemented, that should be considered.
Finally, allow me to congratulate and thank you all for your participation today. Indeed, what a productive and insightful forum it has been. Time flies so fast, it seems like it was only yesterday when we started this journey together. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte made infrastructure a prime development priority in his Dutertenomics economic strategy. While the flagship infrastructure projects under Build program continue to make progress, it is also setting up the foundation in terms of infrastructure for the next administrations and beyond. As chief implementer of Build program, I am overwhelmed with how our different agencies of the government stood as one in this long and perilous journey to the golden age of infrastructure. I take pride of our resiliency when we stood the ground against the pandemic and other calamities, working harder even amidst the struggles and unprecedented changes to continue the momentum of the vision of massive infrastructure development. Over the past 6 administrations, the country's infrastructure spending to GDP ratio only averaged at 2.6%. To note, from 2001 to 2010, the average percentage of infrastructure budget to GDP was at 1.6%, or 100.3 billion pesos. While from 2011 to 2016, it was 3%, or 378.3 billion pesos. To date, CY 2022, the infrastructure spending to GDP is at 5.9%, or 1.27 trillion pesos. From a total of 119 IFPs, 7 have been completed in 2020, 5 in 2021, 19 projects are expected to be completed by December this year, and 88 infrastructure flagship projects are slated for continuing implementation and completion for 2023 onwards. My esteemed colleagues from the infrastructure and economic development clusters, our development partners from the foreign lending institutions, all the men and women of this industry, we are very fortunate that through this current administration, we have had plenty of opportunities to contribute to the growth and development of this country through the myriad of projects in the Build program. As we gear towards the next administration, it is imperative that we maintain our strong collaboration and cooperation to ensure the continuity of these IFPs. I hope that you carry to the next administration the same enthusiasm and passion that you have exemplified over the years. Let us always incorporate sustainability efforts in our every endeavor, Infrastructure development and environmental conservation are not mutually exclusive. Let us not compromise one over the other. We must always strive for ways that are least detrimental, measures that will protect our natural resources and surroundings. We owe it to the next generation of Filipinos to enjoy the same wonders that we have now. That is, in addition to the infrastructure development that we will pass on to them. As management guru Peter Drucker says, the best way to predict the future is to create it. This can only happen and be sustained under good governance and strong faith in the Almighty God. May we all stay true to our mandate as builders of the nation, the main gears and pinions that keep this country running toward continuous development. This is our sworn duty to the Filipino people. Congratulations everyone on a fruitful and successful 6 years. I am excited to witness all these infrastructure projects change the lives of every Filipino. Thank you at mabuhay tayong lahat.
We commit to the continuing implementation of the government's infrastructure flagships projects. Let's give yourselves a round of applause.